Hey guys, Nathan with Be Superfly here. Hope you're well. I want to introduce you to a new plugin we're releasing for Divi 5 soon called Sticky Scroll Modules. This one's a really cool one that we've been waiting to release for a little bit just to make sure Divi 5 was ready to go. And now that they've got everything stabilized, we figured we'd go ahead and roll this out for you guys to enjoy. So let me introduce you now to the first one. It's called the Hero Scroll Grid. This one is going to, I think, replace your static images in the hero sections or the background videos and things like that. This one we had a lot of fun with. So here's how it works. You kind of start out with a kind of a normal static image. It can also be a video like normal, but as you scroll down, it does something different, which really can kind of capture somebody's attention. So we've got a couple different effects on this module itself. This one's probably my favorite just because it's so unique and you don't expect it. Let me show you some of these other effects as well. So on the back end here, scroll down here, click on this, go to the design tab and scroll settings. You'll see that we've got the zoom out assemble right now selected. Let me show you what the center hold assemble looks like. It's just slightly different. See if you can catch the difference. All right, we'll hit refresh here. And then go ahead and scroll down again. So this one starts may seem a little odd at first, but you've got the little centered image. And then you can see as you scroll down, you quickly get all the other grid popping into place here at different times and intervals. This is cool because you can actually, and really any of these options that you choose, you can actually pop in a video here in any of these grid spots just to change up the effect and the look of things. It can also be, just however you want it to be as far as images, the mix of images and videos. And let me show you this last one here, which is the default script. And refresh one more time. Okay, scroll back at the top. So you kind of got that static image or video, and then as you scroll on this one, everything kind of just zooms out and you see the full grid. That one's kind of cool too. A little bit more subtle than the other two, popping in all over the place, but this one works just as well. So I'm curious to see what you guys do with this one. Could be a lot of fun to play with. Just another way just to kind of capture people's attention, get them to stop and read what you're trying to say on the page. The next one is called the Sticky Stacking Cards. It's a mouthful. This one uses Divi's default builder of way of adding rows and columns and whatever you want to inside of them. It just adds a sticky layer on top of that so that everything inside of those rows is sticky. So I'll show you what I mean. So you've got 2-column here, and then you've got another 2-column row, and you can kind of see how it's just stacking one on top of the other. You may have seen this effect in other places like Framer, Webflow, those kind of places that use GSAP. We just want to bring some of those effects into Divi. So you kind of see how that works. Very clean, easy to use. This one works very similarly. You've got 2 columns here. This is just a default Divi column, and it's using Divi's own sticky functionality to stay in place. But these cards themselves are using our new module. They're just blurbs, 3 blurbs actually. And as you scroll, you can kind of see they stack as well. And you might see the difference between the different effects that we've got. We've got a couple actually, looks like 4 or 5 different effects as you scroll and as the other ones fade away. This one is kind of scaling down as you scroll over top. This one you'll notice they kind of blur out and fade away. So there's a bunch of different options in here for different effects that you might want to apply. The scroll effects here. So you've got, all these different options to play with. And then getting down to module 3 is called Card Carousel. It's actually one of my favorites. You may have seen this one in a couple different places as well. So this one looks just like a normal scrolling grid of cards. But as you hover over, you'll see that it's got videos play in the background, no audio, but just a nice little change to the normal kind of slider layout. And there's a bunch of different options on this too. You can customize your icons where the text is placed. You can even add a little logo to the top, things like that. You can get it to just use images if you don't want the page load speed of the video. You can have all kind of functionality here as well. You can also add your standard navigation buttons back. I just have them hidden for now on our demo page, but let me show you some of the options here as well for those carousels. So you can change out your settings over here, carousel settings, and we've got a bunch of different options for placement as far as where you want them, if you want them to overlap the viewport that's kind of the style you're seeing right now. You can do that, or you can go back to the default way of just fitting inside the row or the container that they're in. But the scroll mode is what I want to show you. Right now it's set to the old way of doing it, but you can also change it to pinned scroll scrub. So let me refresh and you just kind of see the difference here. All right, so as you're scrolling down the page here, what will happen is it'll catch in place and start scrolling horizontally, which is kind of just a neat effect, just to capture people's attention, get them to slow down, and just pay attention to what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to showcase or show them. This could be used as a portfolio even. It could be kind of fun, different use cases. And speaking of use cases, we have these little tips, use cases here down here of how we've used some of these modules in the past, just for some inspiration, but feel free to go wild and do your own thing. But again, that is called the pinned scroll scrub mode. And you can always change that back as needed. There's actually a ton of different settings here that you can do. We tried to give you guys as much flexibility as we could. You also see one called hard overlay here, where you've got, by default, it's that blur that we've introduced, different cards and things and effects that we've done. But you can actually switch that to, just a normal black gradient if you want, and play around with the gradient positioning. We can do a white gradient as well, but we really do like that blur effect. It just kind of stands out better than the rest, in our opinion. But you can play with these different settings. Another little trick too is inside of Divi 5, we notice it's easy to, when you're clicking around, you can kind of get lost sometimes if you're trying to narrow in on a specific object to select. So it's always good just to open up your layers here and kind of see how everything is built. And what we'll do as part of this plugin is just ship our JSON demo file, so you can load this in from your library and see how we structured these, just to kind of help you out and give you something to start with. At least you can kind of see how these are structured as different layers. And that's even more important kind of in this other one that I want to show you. It's called the sticky feature stack. This one's cool because, again, if you have a ton of content on the page, you need to break that up a little bit, or people are just going to scroll right past it and not read it. So this is just a nice way to take a lot of content and actually, kind of just break it out, make it a little bit more visual. And you'll see too, just something cool that we've kind of built in play here, where this image, even if you scroll past the section that it's in, it will stay sticky even in that column, just depending on where you're kind of hovering and clicking and things like that. But each feature section here has its own sticky image as well. So as you scroll, you kind of see that it stays in place. Just, again, another little visual thing that you can kind of add into place to just make it a little different, to get somebody to stop and read what you're trying to showcase there. So we're selling this plugin for $39 a year, or you can get the entire thing for $19 a month if you're a Superflyer member. So feel free to grab a membership, download this, give it a shot. Let us know. Feel free to email us some of your inventions with this whole thing. I'm kind of curious to see what people do with this and just the different ways that you can play with these modules and do your own thing and just really kind of go to town and have some fun with it. Again, just some nice visual ways to break up, content heavy sites, or just if you need something more visual, this is just a fun way to do it. So let us know what you think, and we're excited to see what you guys do with it. All right, cheers.